What is happening, everybody? Hey, check it out. Dirty D's coming at you today from the garage. And yes, we have both doors wide open. So you might hear some squirrels, you might hear the birds chirping, you might hear some cars going back and forth. But look, we don't operate in a hospital, man. We operate in the streets and things get down and dirty anyway. Today we're going to demystify two motorcycle terms for you because they get thrown around all the time. Bobber and Springer. Now, I know what you're thinking. You think you already know what these mean, but did you know that not all Springers have springs? And did you know that a bobber's not called a bobber because it bobs on down the road? I know that's reaching a little bit far, but look, hang with me for a couple of minutes. You're going to get some down and dirty motorcycle knowledge, and I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I'm going to stir the pot a little bit with some of the questions that I asked today, but look, we're all friends around here. Jump into the comments, let me know what you think. And by the way, if you haven't hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, go ahead and do that so you don't miss out on any other videos coming your way. All right, let's talk about the bobbers. An easy way to remember what a bobber is, think about a bobtail cat. So right, bobtail, that tail got cut off, chopped off. And basically that's what a bobber is. They chop off and cut off all the parts that aren't necessary for the bike to operate, going for that bare bones look, and you're even getting some increased performance from doing that. I'm going to talk to you about that here in a minute. So what kicked off the bobber style? It goes way back to 1933. That's when the American Motorcycle Association introduced Class C racing. So Class C, basically the rule said that you had to use a motorcycle that was commercially available. So companies like Indian and Harley, to take advantage or to gain an advantage, they started removing as much as they could off of the bikes to get a better power to weight ratio. And then the guys in the streets, they figured that they would follow suit, man. They could take a cheap shortcut to improving the speed of their bike by removing stuff instead of adding things to the engine or making those engine modifications. So it was a lot cheaper just to take stuff off. So here's the cool thing. You can make any motorcycle a bobber with just a few customizations. Here's some typical bobber mods. I'm going to start with the most tame, and then we're going to move on to the most extreme, because man, some of these modifications are not only dangerous, they're friggin' illegal. Anyway, we're going to get into that. The fenders, first of all. Oftentimes the front fender is completely removed from a bobber. The back fender is usually chopped right in half to cut more weight. Sometimes they just take it off altogether. The seat is replaced or modified for a smaller one. Sometimes the chain guard is removed. Some even have modifications to remove the primary cover and run an open drive belt. I think this looks really cool, but personally, I wouldn't do that to my bike because I'd be afraid of a rock getting caught up in there or something weird happening. But check out what bike builder Rich Petoniak did with his. I think it's absolutely badass. With the mufflers, they're often switched out for smaller ones. In some cases, people remove the mufflers completely. I don't suggest it. Your bike's gonna run lean. It's going to overheat and you're probably going to end up on the side of the road. But hey, look, it's a free country, man. You live with the consequences. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. So getting more extreme and into the dangerous/illegal zone, some people even throw out the turn signals. Some people get rid of the front brake. Again, I'm not endorsing this. This is for educational purposes only. But look, it's a part of our motorcycle culture. All right, so now I'm going to stir the pot a little bit. But you know that's what we do around here. Knowing what you know about the bobber, is it me? Or do you think it's kind of weird that people buy a bobber and then start adding more stuff that ends up making it heavier? I found an example I'm going to share with you right here. This is an Indian Scout bobber with a batwing fairing. Is it truly a bobber at that point? Hey, look, to each their own. Let me know in the comments what you think. Back to the story, and let's get on to the springers. The term springer refers to the front forks and the suspension. It's one of the earlier designs of a front suspension. You ask most people how to identify a springer, they're going to tell you that you can see the springs on the front of the bike, but those people are incorrect. Although most springers do have springs exposed, the real way to tell a springer is that you have two parallel sets of legs. The rear leg is fixed to the bottom of the triple tree, and then the front or shorter legs connect to the springing mechanism. Did I actually say mechanism? Yes, which leads me to the next point. How the heck do you have a springer without springs? Well, check this out. This is called a leaf spring suspension. It serves as a spring, but without the coiled springs we usually think about when we think about springers. So there you have it. It's pretty simple. The difference between a bobber and a Springer. Let me know in the comments if you have a bobber or a Springer, what you like most about it, and we'll see you guys out there in the mother hummin' streets, baby.